What is the minimum credit score to purchase a home? Hey, I'm Channing and I'm a mortgage broker, and that's a question that I find myself being asked all the time from potential home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, wanting to know if they're going to be able to qualify to get a mortgage. And so I want to answer that question in today's video, and the answer is it depends. So we need to look at all of the different loan programs to truly get an understanding of what the minimum credit score requirements are for each loan. And so you take one of the most popular loan programs out there, the FHA loan, and it actually has multiple different credit score requirements. And so technically with an FHA loan, you can purchase a home using that loan program with a credit score as low as 500, but you're going to need 10% down, and you're probably going to need to make sure you haven't had any late payments or at least more than one in the last 12 months. Vice versa, if you have a 580 credit score, you can get an FHA loan and you're only going to need 3.5% down. Now, that doesn't include things like points that may be attached to the loan because of the lower credit score. That's something that when we discuss these lower scores on all of the loan programs, you're very likely going to have to pay points if you have a score that's lower than, say, 640, maybe even conventional on 680. But as far as the loan program itself, FHA can go down to 500 or 580 with 3.5% down. Conventional loans are 620, though you won't see many people getting conventional loans with a 620 credit score. They're usually going to opt for FHA because it's easier to qualify for an FHA loan if you've had past credit issues, which is generally going to be the case if your score is on the lower end of the spectrum. And so typically conventional loans become an option once you're over 720. That's when conventional loans begin to make more sense than FHA. Sometimes, not all the time, but the minimum credit score requirement for conventional loans is 620. Not so friendly against past credit issues, collections, and things like that. And then you have one of my personal favorites, which is the USDA Rural Development Loan. They don't technically have a stated credit score requirement. I don't know of any lenders that will do them under a 580, and it's really difficult to do them right now if you're under a 640, though a lot of times lenders will allow them from 580 to 620, but you'll have to be a manual underwrite. And I can link a link in the description that describes what a manual underwrite is, so we don't have to jump back into that now. But it's basically additional requirements that you have to meet in addition to what someone who isn't a manual underwrite would have to meet. And so you'll hear lenders say with USDA that it's a 640 requirement. They may have that as an overlay, but that is the minimum requirement for that loan program is 580 with most lenders on the broker side at least. And then finally, you have VA loans. VA loans don't have a credit score requirement whatsoever, so people can get VA loans with a 400 credit score. Now, you're going to hear the big national VA lenders. Again, they're going to say 620, 640, but the VA does not have a credit score requirement, and our lenders that we currently work with will go down to a credit score of a 500. Now, remember, again, the thing about late payments and things like that, because those are going to play a factor in getting approved, especially if you're a manual underwrite on the VA side of things. So you don't need perfect credit in order to purchase a home. In fact, you can have less than perfect credit and utilize VA if you're a veteran or FHA if you're not a veteran and still have the ability to purchase a home. One quick thing I want to mention is that just because the lender states that these are the minimum credit requirements doesn't mean that, or not the lender, but the government or the regulating agencies, the lender has the choice to put an additional requirement over what's actually required. Those are called overlays. And so that's why you will often find you're getting two different answers from different lenders. With on the broker side, like working with us, because we work with so many different lenders, we have some lenders that won't do them past a certain credit score, and then we have others that just follow guidelines, and so they'll go down to a 500, they'll go down to a 580. It really depends on the lender that you're working with, and so work with a lender, especially if you know that you have some challenged credit, that's going to give you the best opportunity to get approved for a mortgage. So those are the four main programs. Of course, we could get into like jumbo loans and DSCR and stuff like that, but for first-time home buyers, these are the general four loan programs that you're going to need. And most of the time, if you've had any kind of past credit issue, you're probably looking at one of the government loan programs, USDA, FHA, or if you're a veteran, VA. So that's what the minimum credit score requirements are. They do vary based on the program. If you like this video, would you please like the video and subscribe to the channel? Let YouTube know that we're putting out great content and so that we can reach more people just like you.